At the end of the day, everybody wants the same job because it has these three core elements. Number one, you're getting paid a ton of money. Number two, you're working with people and have a manager that you actually like. And number three, and probably the big buzzword for 2024 and beyond, it's 100% remote. So if you are watching this video and you're saying, "Sho, I've been wanting to get a remote job for months, years now, and can't break through," I will share the secrets that recruiters, HR, hiring managers, that they're not telling you. Here are 4 things you need to have on your resume to go get that interview for that remote role. If you're new here, welcome back to the Work Happier podcast with Shodawan. I'm gonna be sharing everything that I've learned in my 10 plus years of experience in recruitment, HR, career coaching. If you want a remote job, stay tuned because I'm gonna give you all the details of how to land it. The first thing you gotta keep in mind is that everybody wants a remote job. So if everybody wants a remote job, that means competition is at an all-time high. If everybody is doing the same thing and showing up the same exact way on their resume, you need to do things differently. Because if I'm a recruiter and I have hundreds of resumes in front of me and I see 1 or 2 things that stand out, those are the 1 or 2 candidates that I'm gonna hone in on. You wanna be part of that special group. So the first thing that I recommend adding to your resume is highlighting that you have previous remote working experience. This goes for all jobs, right? If you've seen any of my videos before, you know you want to tailor your resume, highlight the relevant experience and skills you have for that role. Well, all of that applies for this role, but in addition, they also want to find somebody who can fit from a remote working perspective. So if you've ever worked at a remote capacity before, highlight that on your resume. Even when you put into your professional experiences where you have your company name, you have your role, the dates you worked, put in remote next to your role. Put in hybrid if that's what you did. It's just a good distinction for recruiters to see, okay, this person has remote work experience. Because this is going to be remote as well, it would be an easy transition for this person. That's what they're thinking in their head. In addition to that little highlight on your resume, also add in some other skills that showcase that you are an effective remote worker. So showcase that you have experience using Zoom and Microsoft Teams. Showcase that you've managed teams using different CRM tools like Monday, Asana, Notion. All of these are good indicators that you have done some virtual collaboration, and that's what you want to really highlight. Another point to all this as well is if you are working in a remote team, you are also probably going to be working with people across different time zones globally. So highlight those elements too. For example, a bullet point you could use is saying, you managed a team of 7 that were spread out globally, and you're able to increase efficiency by 25% by implementing a new project management tool, right? I'm just giving you an example there, but you see how it has different elements where if a recruiter sees that, they said, well, in this new remote role, they would also have to manage people in different countries, and they would also be responsible for project management. It's a bingo there because it highlights what you've done in the past from a remote capacity would fit into this new remote role as well. Now, the second point you want to emphasize is that you are great with people, because at the end of the day, business is a people game. People want to work with people they like. That goes for your own team members. That will go for the other side too with your potential clients. You gotta highlight your personality, all the great qualities you have as a human being on paper. And that doesn't mean you writing on your summary or writing in the key highlight section, I am great with people and I am great at communicating and I am great at managing people. Because anybody can say that. Instead of you talking the talk, you gotta walk the walk. You gotta showcase with action of how you've actually done that. So in your resume, you could put a section on mentorship. You could put a section on stakeholder management, on different things you've done with people. So mentorship, coaching, managing people, that would be more internal. Stakeholder management, project management, sales and negotiation, that would be more external. You can't just say you have great soft skills. You have to show it with the skills on your resume and the different projects that you worked on. Number 3, in following up with your soft skills, a specific soft skill that all remote workers really should have is excellence in presentation skills. Because if you can't meet with your team face to face, you will be expected to deliver excellent presentations that can capture your same energy, your same tone, your same vibe through the screen, right? So we talked already about point number 1, showcasing you have remote skills like Zoom and project manager tools. So this goes hand in hand, where you are now showcasing that you've been able to put together an extensive report, being able to present it to key decision makers. So this could be senior leaders, this could be C-suite, senior leadership at the client. All of this is important. I think it's great to showcase that inside your bullet points and showcase how you've been able to build, develop, and present these reports. But in addition, something you could do is you can add in a portfolio for yourself, and you can add in some of your past work, speeches or presentations that you've done. This can be a hyperlink on your resume, and it can be an external website, potentially an attachment to an email so you can showcase all the presentations you have. Or another way is that you can even highlight a speaking reel. Let's say you're a keynote speaker and you have a couple of highlights of what you've done in the past, maybe virtually or in person. You can also highlight that on your resume. But it's these little things that recruiters and hiring managers are looking for. Because if I don't meet you face to face, sometimes I don't get that same energy, right? Sometimes I don't understand your true essence as a professional. You having these real life evidence of you speaking on stage or you speaking in front of a camera, what I'm doing right now, it all will play in your favor, especially if you're an excellent public speaker. So keep that in mind. If you're good at this, highlight it as much as you can. And the fourth element you need on your resume to really round this out, you need data, you need metrics. Again, you need to walk the walk, because it's easy for you to say that you did all these things and you increased this and you did that. But it's so much more effective if you have real life data points to back it up. So when you implemented that project management tool, what was it before? What was the NPS score? What was the efficiency rate? And how did it increase in the future? Show that before and after. With the new data analytics skills that you learned, what was the before state and what was the post state after you implemented some new skills and some new tools? These are things that I want to see. Because when it comes to remote work, and you've been seeing this all over the news as well, companies are asking candidates to come back into the office, right? Like more and more companies are wanting their workers to work in person because they want to see if everyone's effective and they want to see if everyone's productive. If you're going for a remote role, already these companies have a great culture where they trust people, but double down on it. Double down on why they should keep on trusting you with all the evidence from your past experience, highlighting why you are a no-brainer to hire. And the data, the metrics, the technical skills all play a role in that. In the future, when you are past the first, second, third round interviews and they're gonna take your candidacy even more serious, that's when references will come into play, potential referrals will come into play. All of this is important. Before your resume, if you have these four elements, you will get an interview. And then once you meet them in person, then it's all on you to highlight who you are as a person and all the great experiences and stories you have that are relevant for that role. If you do those four things, you are gonna get that remote job, my friend. All right? So that is it from me this week, my friend. If you have any comments, suggestions, topics for me to cover next, email us at podcast@workcap.com, and I will see you next week. Take care.